It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
An excuse to get out and show their other space trick, which is the faking of spacewalks in a swimming pool. In this vid, you catch a glimpse of someone wearing a scuba tank. Scuba tanks in space?
NASA does nothing in space. Their spacewalks are done underwater in water tanks. The video is sped up so it looks more natural. But yeah, they're underwater and the video is sped up, and they do this on the Hubble Space Telescope as well. So that's how you know the Hubble Space Telescope never existed in orbit. This is all bullshit. Tossing some bullshit, and a bubble appears at 3:39 in this video. And it takes an odd trajectory because it's in a water pool. And then this thing pretty much stops its trajectory. I don't know how they make this. I don't know if it's actually there. But there it is spinning. It's not going anymore. Houston, we have a problem. Space is broken. Sorry, U.S. government. I have to show them the bubble. There's the bubble in the pool that we just saw. Yep, doesn't even go in a straight line. It's in a water pool. Takes a very odd trajectory because the water is actually moving around. It's not still. Spacewalking astronauts release baby satellite. It was just a baby. He cast the 4-inch box off with his gloved right hand as it I don't even want to say that because that shit doesn't exist. Sailed 260 miles above blah blah blah. Oh, he cast out the baby with his hand. So that's how we deploy satellites nowadays? Where did he keep it? Was it keistered? U.S. spacewalks, meanwhile, remain on hold. Oh, can't you boys play nice? What, isn't there enough water for everybody? The Russians are gonna keep the space station now, or what? Should we go to war with them? I think World War III should break up or start on the International Space Station, and then we'll fight it on land. Make the fucking thing worth it and entertaining. Keister more satellites, though. These stories are funny. I didn't know that we had baby satellites. Just trying to figure out, where did this bubble originate from? It came from his glove, it looks like. On the right hand side. You can tell that the bubble came from the thumb on his glove. What does that mean? It came from his spacesuit? I don't know. All these spacewalks are always done underwater. Yep, this is how they deploy satellites now. They just toss them at the planet. Fake ass shit. Yep, spacewalks are done underwater. The Hubble Space Telescope doesn't exist because when they had to do spacewalks on it, you can watch them. They're done underwater. It's ridiculous. This video is called iJustine and NASA Permed Hair Women on Zero-G Planes. So this video is about Zero-G planes and women on board them, including NASA women. Now the only thing we care about is the women's hair, because iJustine's hair is normal. It flows naturally in the air, as hair would do in a zero-G environment. But the NASA women, they have perms, because it's part of the hoax. Sometimes these zero-G planes are grounded, and the women take photos. And because their hair is permed, it looks like they're still in a zero-G environment. So that's why the women, the NASA women, have their hair permed. They're deceiving you. iJustine's hair is not going to be fixated like this. Her hair is going to flow naturally in the air as she bounces around. And this woman, who's supposed to be an astronaut, her hair is going to stay fixated the entire time, no matter how she bounces around or when she lays down, the entire time, her hair will stay fixated in these videos. She's on a zero-G plane. She is not on an actual International Space Station in space, because that does not exist. Here she is pretending to work out, and she could totally be on the ground. The plane can be grounded because her hair is permed, and you would not know the difference. So that's why her hair would be permed for this hoax, is to maintain consistency. That's why they do that. It's for the illusion. So when they take other pictures on the ground, they don't always have to be on the zero-G plane in the air. They could also be on the ground with their fixated hair, take pictures, and they'll pass as them being in space. So let's see what I'm talking about and pay attention to their hair and how it acts in the air, and you will see that something is seriously wrong.
Right there. Zero freaking fantastic gravity.
Handstand!
I think I'm gonna do a flip.
Do it. You just did.
Oh my god! I am freaking
What is happening?
Here's another scene with Catherine Katie Coleman. Seems to be done in the suspended mode. Have a look at her hair. There's something odd about her hair. I know this is zero gravity and hair is supposed to stick out and go all over the place, but her hair doesn't really flop around naturally. It's always sticking out kind of rigidly. Maybe they permed it in that position, or perhaps they're hanging her upside down. As she shakes her head from side to side slightly, you can see the hair always springs back to a particular position with respect to her head.
Shows a illustration of satellites far out, and they don't even use a real picture of the Earth for this. If these satellites existed at this distance, which they're supposed to, go on Google and look at the satellites. There's a ton of fucking satellites. And yeah, they should be able to take a picture of the Earth, and yet they use a NASA composite image, which they have to do. I mean, they don't have a choice. There are no pictures of the Earth. And there's supposed to be thousands of satellites, and you can't even get a clear number of how many satellites there are. I've gotten so many different numbers. I mean, I've gotten 1,500, and I've gotten approximately 3,000, approximately 5,000, and the number goes higher and higher all the way up to 20,000 satellites. You'll always get a different number because the fucking satellites don't exist. But it's showing you an illustration, and if these satellites existed, they would have thousands by now, thousands of real pictures of Earth from space, because those fucking satellites are right there. Why can't they take a picture? And no, here's the fucking composite. And what do people think when they see that? Do they think that's a real picture? Like, how come we don't care that we're not showing real images? We're always showing Apollo 17, and I'm shocked they're not using it right there. See, here's the thing about NASA, guys. They admit they make composite images of Earth. And even though they've been doing so much work in the solar system for over 40 years, and there should be hundreds of pictures just from that, like if you pretend all these satellites don't exist, they're still doing work in the solar system, right? There should be hundreds of pictures of Earth from space just based on all of that fucking work. And they don't exist, and they fucking admit their pictures are fake.
Last week, scientists at NASA released this.
You search images of Earth from space, you're gonna see that image. I mean, why would you have fake images and computer animated images of Earth when you can have the real thing? So basically, when you search Earth from space, you should see all real images of Earth from space. Like, why everybody thinks NASA does science, so why wouldn't you see that?
From data from NASA's
No, you get this.
which orbits the Earth about every 100 minutes, taking measurements of light coming off the planet. That can be translated into ribbons of imagery like this.
Ribbons of imagery. Why would you need to do that? Because there's supposed to be satellites past low Earth orbit. Why can't you just take a fucking picture?
And then into one of these. And this is just the latest in NASA's Earth from space.
Then you fast forward, we could go to the image that we just saw in the illustration.
Actually, they snapped a
Okay, that's supposed to be real. That's Apollo 17's image of Earth. And they use it all the time, and nobody ever thinks about it. You're shown this. This picture is in every single science book. See that circle cloud formation? This picture is so distinctive. They use it on the covers of magazines. They still use it today. I saw it must be 3 weeks ago now, but I clicked on an article because it had this fucking image in it. They still use this picture to represent Earth.
A lot of pictures.
Yeah, all of those are supposed to be real. They're from Apollo 17.
The environmental movement at the time, it gave people the first...
So basically, when you search images of Earth from space and you want to see a real picture, you're going to see that, and you're going to see other pictures from Apollo. How long ago were the Apollo missions? And then you go to recent shit, like, what's it called? The Blue Marble 2012? It's a fucking composite. It's not a real picture. And they admit it. They tell you it's a composite.
At their home planet as a single entity.
That's supposed to be taken from a Hasselblad camera. It's supposed to be a real picture. And with all these satellites, they're supposed to be in the positions of the GPS satellites and geosynchronous satellites. They should be able to take pictures based on that fucking logic, and they don't do it.
In 1990, Carl Sagan made this Voyager.
Fuck Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan knew that NASA did nothing. I mean, that guy... Everybody adores Carl Sagan, and he's just like Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know how you have Neil deGrasse Tyson shut up your ass all the time? Yes, they know NASA does not do science.
Oh, until I bought an iPhone.
Here's that fucking picture.
I turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
This drives me nuts because they always show you the Apollo 17 picture of Earth from space. And here, they're using an illustration to use a... We're about to learn about this picture, but it's not real.
Even though until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simmons' job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
So she said composite. Now, when you search images of Earth from space, even though everybody thinks NASA does science, they're on the cutting edge of science, they're exploring the solar system. When you search images of Earth from space, you should see real pictures of Earth from space. And you're not going to see that. You're going to see composite after composite. You could go to the Blue Marble series. You're going to see composite after composite. And they can't even make you at least 100 images of Earth from space. They don't even bother making 50 or 20.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was...
They go over this, and this happens to be one of the composites you're going to see all the time.
No realistic color map of the globe.
Oh yeah, whatever. They're pretending they do fucking science.
Under the masonic moon, plans were made by the bankers in the back room. The owls